Hey y'all, Tyler Blake here again from Tyler Blake Art, and I am just continuing on with the zombification of Tom Cruise again. I know this is going to have more parts than the Star Wars franchise, but trying to keep the videos short so they don't get, too monotonous. Couple things. So I'm still like way behind on stuff from when I went blind in my left eye. I'm still recovering from that, so still having some issues related to that. So I'm still not up to my regular schedule yet. So please be patient with me if I am not regular at this point with the posting of content. Also, so hopefully this shows up on camera. You can see like the last time I started to lay in some fine lines to get the gray values in. I'm probably see a lot of the value I can also do at the stage when it gets colored. But on the other hand, I want I'm gonna scan the ink drawing and print it on thicker paper because I'll be coloring it with with Copic markers, and my preferred paper is the Canson Fanboy 150 pound. I might do it on some Bristol from 100 pound or so, but anyway, on the other hand, I do want the ink drawing to look good on its own without relying on the color to set the value areas. So I'm gonna try and come pretty close to the values that are on the reference picture with this. But I some fine tuning might be left for the color stage. Let me put it that way. Also, something that I usually do, and I haven't been doing it on these videos, so I'm kind of lucky. I've got this other drawing I'm working on underneath these, and what I usually do when I'm working with ink is I'll protect the sheet behind. So like the other day I was working on my feathered raptor here. I penciled it in blue, and now I've been inking it, and I usually use a sheet of wax paper to protect the sheet behind it, because on the sheet behind that I have my Triceratops here. And you can, I don't know if this shows up or not, but you can see where sometimes, oh, there we go. Okay, sometimes the ink does bleed through. So in that way, I keep the next sheet nice and clean, so it's, when I get to it, it won't have a bunch of like little partial ink smudges from my previous drawing. So I'm going to take this and put it under Tom Cruise so I don't mess up my big drawing that I'm putting a lot of time into back here. Okay, so I do recommend, paying attention to what your ink can bleed through onto if you're doing that. Okay, so without any further jabbering, I'm just going to get right to it. I usually listen to music when I draw, but a couple weeks ago I was doing one of these, and I had my stereo off over there playing some Lorena McKennitt, and when I went to upload the video, it was like, copyright violation notice. YouTube has detected the song The Mummers Dance by Lorena McKennitt. I was like, I didn't load it into the video, it just was playing in the background, so that kind of, I've never had that happen before, but and I have to learn more about putting putting music with your videos, because I haven't done that before. Because I think I think my videos would probably benefit from that, especially when I'm just drawing and not saying anything. Just, have this like long, drawn out, awkward silence, but I'm gonna have to get more caught up with the actual projects I need to get done before I look at, gussying things up that way with, better light, camera, sound, and all that. Okay, so I think the thing that I'm least happy with right now is the lack of value on his nose, so I'm gonna start working on that. probably even a little bit dark, but I'm kind of stuck with it now. think for the excuse me, for the value differences on his teeth and maybe even on his gums, I am gonna do that with color. Because with something like teeth, if when you start putting lines on it, it's easy to overdo it real fast. So I'm gonna, at least I'm gonna hold off on that. So I'm just gonna work on a little bit of details down there to. It just bugs me that it's gone this long without having some definition put in. Okay. And I still have, so the value's looking better on the nose, on this area of his face. I've still got work to do over here. It was really bothering me that I didn't have any of it done down here, so that's coming along. I'm gonna go ahead and start doing some of the detail on the muscle tissue because it really brings it along when you do that. With the muscle tissue, it's a simple technique that, as far as what I do, I talked before about how these are striated so that you can tell the way they contract by the direction the lines are going. And I just think of it as, it's not a flat strip, but think of it as a round object, or at least an oval shaped elongated object. And just like this pen, it has a highlight, usually on, if you're looking right at it, there's a highlight in the middle of any round object. And that's an oversimplification because, depending on light directions and everything, but for the purpose of doing muscles, I want to keep the center area the lightest and so I'm going to have a highlight running all the way down and darker at the ends. And that's the way I do the shading on the muscle tissue. And when I say the ends, I mean the insertion points. So, like, right here, we have a little flap of skin that's covering up the section of muscle, but this right here and this right here are still the same tissue. So I don't want to do, like, dark shading around this flap of skin. This will pop out because the muscle will be colored red, and this will be, like, kind of bluish, pinkish green, the actual skin. So I don't need to overshade that, and it would look odd. It would have this like kind of bizarre shadow coming from both sides if I did that at this point. So I'm not going to do that. Oh yeah. By the way, if y'all can see my shirt here, this was an image that I did for Inktober last year in 2016. I ordered some sample t-shirts from the company that I was, had pretty much decided I was going to go with for the t-shirt printing, and I got myself two and my wife two, and they turned out great. So I'm really excited about that. I'm not sure which images are going to be available on t-shirts yet. I'm still working on that, but I am moving forward. And, still working on the website. That's really slow because I'm not that kind of nerd. But anyway, I'm at a little over 17 minutes right now, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it off. But just to show side by side how the zombification is going. I'm a lot of the time with portraiture, I'm not happy with it until I get close to being done, and then when I start doing more of the value shading, whether it's pencil or ink or whatever, then it starts to come together for me more now, and that's kind of where I am here. I'm starting to feel more pleased with this. So anyway, I do thank y'all for watching, and I will do my best to get back on my regular weekly schedule with posting these. So that's it. Take care, everybody. Bye.